Morning everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the SwimStim Challenge from Dynamite Baits. So far you've had Johnny Arthur, you've had Rob Wootton, you've had Andy Geldar, you've had Andy May, oosh, or whatever it is he does. Today you've got me. I've just been told to come here to Lakeside Fishery. Lovely fishery this is, Lakeside Fishery. It's just between York and Beverley, I think, on that road. Text just come through a few minutes ago. Let's have a look what it says and let's see what we're working with here. Right then. So, here we go. Silverfish challenge. Right, silverfish. I'm liking this, especially as it's just gone cold as well. Using 2 products from the bucket, you have to catch 25 pound of silverfish. But as it's silverfish, you can have 2 pints of live bait, but this will cost you an extra £5. You can have 2 hook baits of your choice from the bucket. Right, interesting. So there's sort of 2 parts to this. So I can take the easy option and I can go, you know, the 2 products and the £25, or I can take the live bait. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all out for this. I think let's have the live bait, 2 pints of live bait, probably maggots or casters. That's going to put us on what, £30 mark? Yeah, £30. So it's going to be a bit of an ask in sort of 3-4 hours, especially with the filming and things, but you know, we're up for a challenge, so let's go and do the SwimStim challenge for silverfish. Right, let's hope we've got some silverfish stuff in here. We're no good with 8mm pellets. Right, good. Right, we do have silverfish. More importantly, the new SwimStim silverfish ground bait. So straight away, I've already had a play with this, had a session the other week with it. So I'm gonna go with one of these as one of my main feeds. Let's go with the dark version because the water is quite clear. It's getting to winter. It is more of a gravel pitty type natural water rather than really coloured. So I'm gonna go with the dark version, but I'm gonna need to put something in that, I think, because it's skimmers and things. So it's no good just feeding ground bait on your own because you're not going to hold the fish long enough. So let's have a look for something. We've got green pellets there, could put them in. Green SwimStim. 6mm, no, they're no good. Got a bit of expander. What else we got hiding in here? Hang on. Now we're cooking. Right. Going to go with the 2mm F1 pellets. Very sweet pellet these, very light, very good for skimmers and F1s and things. That's going to be my main base mix. Okay, those and those. Hopefully I'll have enough for just 1 kilo ground bait. I might have to bulk it out a bit with them. Right, now my hook baits. Right, here we go. So I'll have 2 hook baits. Right, going to definitely go for the expanders because they're really good for the SwimStim Pro expanders, 4mm. That's ideal really for skimmers, so we'll get some of them in. I've got some durables and stuff in here, some soak. Right, actually, I'll have one of them as well, a tin of corn, just in case small fish are a nuisance, we want to get some big fish. Right, enough of the talking. Let's get this bait mixed up, let's get it in, and let's get some silverfish, hopefully. £30 we've got to go for. Right, I'm just going to talk to you about my approach today here at Lakeside Fishery. It's quite interesting really. I've been having to plumb up and it kind of just keeps on falling and falling off. There's no shelf, it's not really very flat, so it just keeps dropping off, getting deeper and deeper. It's quite shallow close in. So what I'm going to do, because I've only got kind of limited bait today, 1 kilo ground bait and pellets, and I think there's a lot of small fish in here, so we're going to need quite a bit of bait. I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket long for skimmers. I'm going to one main skimmer line long where it's 8 foot deep, and then I'm going to have another line short for roach just down here where it's about what, 2.5–3 foot deep, which is a bit shallow for skimmers really. I don't really expect to catch them there. But it's been a bit, because this is a challenge, it's all been a bit of a rush. So literally, ideally I'd have mixed my ground bait, you know, a good hour, 2 hours ago. Literally just had to get it mixed, get the pellets soaked, and we're going to get it straight in. Because it's really important to get that bait in at the start of the session and leave it for skimmers. So I'm going to put some ground bait in, and I'm going to start short for roach, hopefully catch, I had that £5 penalty, remember. I'm going to hopefully catch £5 of roach short while I let the skimmers settle long. So First things first, I've just literally fed a little ball of ground bait on the short line, just in case there's odd skimmers going to come into that, but that's going to be mainly loose fed castor. And secondly, my long line, now I'm going to feed quite a bit of bait out there. I'm going to leave it, so I'm going to take, you know, probably going to feed 4 or 5 balls long, I think. So that's 3, 4. The ground bait's been mixed quite damp. Again, I'm going to measure these out with my pole cup. So I want to probably put, you know, see how that mixes round. Put another half of them, so I know how much I've been put in. Right then. That's all mixed round nice. I'm going to make 4, we're going to put 4 balls of those in to start off with. And then one softer one just to finish with 1 squeeze. Okay. Okay, just going to give you a quick halfway update. We started on that short line just like I said we're gonna, and to be honest it was good. It was really good with roach, you know, some nice roach as well. Just off the end of them lilies fishing casters, and probably had, you know, 7-8 pound of roach in 45 minutes. It was really good. And if I'd stopped there all day, I'd have had a right day. But wanted to show you the skimmer fishing long over the new SwimStim ground bait, and yeah, it's taken a little while to get going. And the fish have been a little bit smaller than I thought they would be. You know, they've been sort of 6 to 10 ounce. We're not any better ones yet. So yeah, it's been all right. You have to keep topping up. And the other thing as well is that because there's so many small fish in here, it's been a real job to kind of get the rig past them, past the roach and things. And once you can get them down there, you usually do get a skimmer bite. And still getting a bit of slime on every time we get one. Got to watch this. Any kind of slime around your hook length, you won't get a bite. So yeah, it's I changed. It didn't take me long to change to what's known as a double bulk rig. And I'm going to show you that in the tips, but it basically just bombs the float down past any nuisance fish, gets it to the bottom. and bites are usually really slow, kind of steady goes unders, or the whole float lifts out the water as it has been doing. That's the time to hit it. But generally I've got my float dotted really, even though there's quite a few fish out there, I've got my float dotted right down because the bites are really finicky. And but as it stands, I'd say we're just about on target. We could do with, must have been a little roach, could do with another arrival really of better fish. And I'm keeping the casters going in as well, in case we need to go on that later. But just keep topping it up every several fish, or when it goes a bit quiet, and that usually brings them straight back like that. Tip number one for skimmer bream is to fish long, okay? So by long, I'm talking 13 metres, 14.5 metres. Get yourself out into the middle of the lake, into that deep water of at least, you know, 6-7 foot. So also try and be accurate. So I don't know if you can see here, on all my butt sections of my poles, I have a little bit of blue tape. I don't like to hold them near the end because that's how you crack things. I'm just lining up with this little bit of tape here, little electrical tape, every time I go out, and that's where I'm feeding as well, so I'm very accurate. Tip number two, use a heavy float. When you're talking 6, 7, 8 foot of water, you want something like 0.75, which is about 4B18s, a gram and a half, just so you can keep the bait still and anchored over depth for skimmers. They don't tolerate a running bait, okay? So what I'm using today is a 4B18 Malman Speedy. It's a very stable float, it's got round bodies, a wire stem for stability, and importantly, it's got quite a long bristle. And having that long bristle means that when you get a lift by, it really exaggerates it. So I'm using quite a thickish bristle of 1.5 mil, so I can see it. There's a bit of chop on the water today, a hollow bristle. That's just nice round body for stability to hold it in place. Right, tip number three is to be positive with your shotting for skimmers. Don't be using 10s and 11s and a really faffish, you know, little shot. Use 8s and 9s. I'm using 8s droppers today just to get a really positive indication on the float. And what I've ended up doing, I started with a bulk and 2 droppers, 2 number 8s, but that was just getting held up by little fish. I've been much more positive now, so I've got a bulk and a second bulk about, what, 7-8 inches from the hook. That's a bulk of number 8s, you know, 3 number 8s. That just gets it down. It's really positive, holds it there. When you get a bite, it's usually just a slow pull under, or because of that bulk, your fish picks it up, your bulk lifts, and the whole bristle comes out the water. Tip number 4, use a light elastic, okay? Skimmer bream, basically they just come in and flop about and come over the surface. If you use a heavy elastic, all you're gonna do is bump them off. So I've got a number 6 to 8 Matrix Slick, which is a really stretchy elastic. It's even stretchier than hollow, even though it's solid. And that just cushions the skimmers as you're bringing them in. No need to rush them, just ship them steadily in. For roach, I've used a 5 or a 6. As it gets colder and the fish get, you know, they slow down a bit, you can scale those elastics down even more. One thing as well for skimmers, set it quite soft, your elastic, unless it's really deep water and you have to set the hook through a really deep rig. Tip number 5 is all about feeding and topping up. So think about how much you're going to put in at the start, because you can't take it out. If you put too much in, then you're going to knack your shrimp up straight away. If If you put too little in, then chances are you'll have to top up a lot sooner and you might have not put enough bait in to hold the skimmers for very long. So as I say, I've put 4 balls in today because it's quite deep. On a shallower venue, if it's harder, you might only put 1 or 2 in when it gets colder. Topping up as well, the fish tell you when you want to top up because your bites will stop, okay? Or your small fish will come in. When that happens, you know it's time to top up. So topping up, again, it can be anything from a little tiny nugget to a full ball sometimes, or today, that's been about the size of ball that I've topped up with. As I say, it's the SwimStim ground bait, the new Silverfish Dark with the 2mm F1 pellets in. Again, right on that spot where I've plumbed up with that marker. Right, rain has stopped play here at the SwimStim challenge. A little bit earlier than the allotted 4 hours, but we're going to see what we've got. It's been a bit slow to start on that skimmer line. We caught a load of roach. Skimmers have been a bit slow to come at first, but in the last sort of hour or so, I've had some better fish, up to, you know, 2.5, 3 pound, maybe a couple of them. So I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, we have met the 30 pound challenge. Just going to get the fish out now. They're ready to come out. Let's see what we got. Have a look, the moment of truth. Right, I don't know if you can see what that says. What is that? Can you see that?
This is 40 pound.
40 pound dead?
39.14.
39 pound 14. So we've just done it by about 9 pounds or so. Great day's fishing here at Lakeside Fishery. Let's get them all back, show you the fish quickly. Some really nice nice bream. And before that, we caught some really nice roach and rudd and things. I mean, look at those for roach. I'd take a net full of those all day long. Let's get them back. And that is challenge complete. It's over to whoever's next.